Welcome everyone to the SERL Hot Wheels Cup Series Season 2 Race 7 at the Texas Motor Speedway. The first time ever in the SERL period that we have gone to this racetrack. And this racetrack, it's a 1.5 mile quad shape oval. It's high banked, but I think what makes this track a challenge is the fact of how it's just simply a very rough surface. There are some bumps scattered all around the racetrack, with some of the bigger bumps being in turns 1 and 2, and that can sometimes cause drivers to get sideways. So that could be a trouble spot in the middle or exiting the corner. Texas Motor Speedway, in some ways, is also a lot more uh, narrower than the other two lookalikes, Charlotte and Atlanta, like especially like the backstretch. And Texas Motor Speedway also has trouble spots coming off of turn number 4, because that seems to be where the whole entire pack seems to get tight. If you know what I'm saying. But anyway, when I think back to last week's race at Sears Point, I honestly thought that race entering that weekend, that would be the Hot Wheels Cup Series race where we would see all of a sudden now like the early championship like contender breakouts. Drivers like Johnny Mills, Jacob Reed, and Andrew Gorman all breaking away from the rest of the pack. But the thing is, that did not happen because why? They all qualified poorly, and the thing is, at Sears Point, a road course, it's really hard to make up passes. So now, Johnny Mills, Jacob Reed, and Andrew Gorman went from first, second, and third to 9th, 10th, and 11th, and now we have a familiar points leader. Isaac Nichols is now back on top of the points. He was the points leader entering Seattle, but lost it in a crash. And now we have some newer contenders higher up in points than before. Clint Buchanan, Ian Saunders, Biff Crafton, and Nick Smith all inside the top 5 in points. So, but the thing is, I would say that the top 10, or maybe even the top 15, is still fairly uh, close to each other. So I think that depending on how this race goes, we really could see uh, like breakouts and maybe even a new face atop of the points. It just all depends. But anyway, now let's get the cars rolling off. Here is the starting lineup. So on the front row is Alan Souza and Clint Buchanan. One of these drivers has just had a miserable season, another, and the other driver has had a fantastic season. So and pretty much like the rest of the top 10, Lisa Gonzalez, Cody Hagan, Johnny Mills, Isaac Nichols, Charles Billing, William Bedford, Matt Hotchkiss, and Payne Keys. Some of these drivers have done really great. Other drivers have just struggled. Other drivers were good early, but have struggled recently. Last week's winner, Andrew Brandt, starts in the 32nd position. But let's see what he can do now that he has a little bit of momentum on his side. And as we go through turns 3 and 4, I feel like that the Texas Motor Speedway, even though it's a mile-and-a-half racetrack, it does act like a super speedway. So I think that we could see it at pack racing. And if you remember last time we were at Atlanta, we saw a huge crash early and a huge crash very late, and a super long green flag run. Will we see it today? We are about ready to find out right about now. Green flag is out. Looks like Alan Souza got a slightly better start than Clint Buchanan. But here comes Lisa Gonzalez in the 51 peeking inside. The outside at Texas Motor Speedway really is not prevail. It's kind of more so like a one groove racetrack that will prevail. But now all of a sudden here comes Johnny Mills. He's looking to get that points back as he tries to go underneath Lisa Gonzalez. And they hook here, and they go back across the racetrack right here. Up in the wall. LJ Mills gets involved, Payne Keys. Oh my goodness, Jacob re-involved. Justin Thomas involved. Oh my god, did we have a silver crash behind here? Oh my goodness. I did not expect this crash to happen so way up early. Aiden Saunders has damage. LJ Mills has damage. Payne Keys looks like his name might be behind. We have a crash ahead of them, I believe. Oh, Dale Scott in the 88 goes around. And behind them, there are some cars here that they're actually running into each other. So, wow. Oh, car Sinclair has damage. Johnny Mills in the 48 has damage. Oh my goodness. What happened here? So 2 wrecks in 2 different parts of the racetrack, and one thing that both of these wrecks had in common is that they both started way up front. Let's take a look and dissect these 2 crashes. In the middle of turns 3 and 4, Lisa Gonzalez and Johnny Mills just hooked together, and it was amazing that more drivers did not get involved when Lisa Gonzalez went back across the racetrack. Cody Hagan had a pretty close call here. Pete and Keys had nowhere to go, so did LJ Mills. And behind them right here, uh, what happened here with Jacob Reed and Justin Talapas. Let, let's see. Oh, I think what happened here was that did Jim Kelly, yeah, Jim Kelly got into Justin Talapas, which then went down into Jacob Reed. The 95 at Frankie Reed also got some damage as well. And then when Jacob Reed came back up across the racetrack, Justin Talapas just has nowhere to go. So um, many of the drivers high up in points are already in huge trouble, and Connor Breen also got a piece of it well. When I take a look at what happened with Pink, he's like what happened up front when he got closer here, he went back across the racetrack, and sort of the same thing with Jacob Regis and Talabas. LJ Mills has nowhere to go. Garrett Sinner gets an damage, so does Ariane Parks. I'm sorry if the frame rate is so terrible, and Ian Saunders also had nowhere to go as well. But now let's take a look and see what happened up in turn number 1. This is how Johnny Mills got into the position he did get just before the crash started. After contact with Luis Gonzalez, he actually slid back up across the racetrack, and all of a sudden he was in the middle of a 3 and eventually 4 wide situation. And then right here, when him and Matt Hotchkiss made contact, they just took together and went right up across the racetrack. William Bedford has nowhere to go. Torn Deer in the 44 has nowhere to go. So does Nick's in the 38. But Crafton gets some damage as well. I think Blaine Keys. But then right here, Dale Scott in the 88. Actually, no, he actually got hit from Cameron Blake. And then from there on, the carnage just continues, with many other drivers getting some kind of like damage. And I'll show the rest of these drivers just piling in. So already a pretty massive crash here on the first 2 laps. Let's go on board some drivers. Frankie Reed finished inside the top 10, I believe, at Sears Point last week, and while he did get some damage, as I've said many times before, it could have been a whole lot worse. Biff Crafton has been rising just a little bit in these past few weeks, but it looks like the rising streak will end after today. 37th through 42nd is everyone that will be out of the race, and some of these drivers, Johnny Mills and Jacob Reed, are going to take even bigger hits in the points after today. And some drivers will continue their struggles. And as we go through the rest of the field, so one thing that I don't really know is how much chaotic it will get once we get once this restart begins, because I feel like that we could either have a green flag run or we could have another very quick caution. But anyway, as the pace car now pulls down per road, Alan Souza, as I hinted, he's just had a struggling season all day long, but today is one of his best chances to get his season going on the right track. And now as we go into turns 1, 2, right behind him, a battle for second place here between Cody Hagan and Cliff Buchanan. That Cody Hagan will successfully make the pass clean. And Cody Hagan, this is a driver that I think was inside the top 5 in points earlier in the season, but has fallen back the past couple weeks. Charles Butler here. Oh my gosh, and we have a crash behind them. Oh, okay, it wasn't a crash, but I saw Luke Walker on the apron for some reason. Anyway, as I was saying, Charles Bailey in the 46, he's had his ups and downs so far in season 2, but uh, but chances are he could very well win today, because the thing is, last time last time we were at a check like this, it was Atlanta, and he happened to win that race at Atlanta in pretty dominating fashion. But now, all of a sudden, Clint Buchanan looks to take a second back from Cody Hagan. Alan Souza continues to lead. Even if Alan Souza does not win, as long as he can finish around this general area, it will still be a very magnificent day. So it looks like things are calm right now. We're not seeing too much side by side pack racing. Things have pretty much cooled off. But I think, I think we'll still see some maybe a few more cautions later in the race. And now Cody Hagan is going to get overtaken by the 17 of Abe Troxell. Abe Troxell is a driver that I would say he hasn't had that great of a season, but he also hasn't had that bad of a season. He's 24 points, and this is a driver that I actually expected to actually run a lot more better than the one he has already. But so far, this is just a very good run for him. And now all of a sudden, it looks like that we are seeing a single file racing group. This is the racing that we are seeing right here. Kind of reminds me of what Texas Motor Speedway was like in NASCAR before the 2002 page, of where it was kind of like a single file snake pack racing, you know. And now all of a sudden Abe Troxell has taken second away from Clint Buchanan, and now it looks like Abe Troxell is going to be someone to maybe take the lead away from Alan Souza, resulting in our first lead change. But now here comes Clint Buchanan back. Never mind. And now all of a sudden, can Clint Buchanan now maybe take the lead away? Second place has swapped a couple times already. But anyway, as you can see, I think these cameras right here really show how, I wouldn't say how separated the field has gone, but just how more calmer the field has gone here. And now, right behind Clint Buchanan, we now have the one of Daniel Boyles. He's been moving up here. The Daytona 500 winner currently ranks 12th in the points entering today. So if how many drivers got involved in that lap 1-2 melee, Abe Troxell could position himself to maybe get inside the top 5 points, depending on how good of a car he has. And right behind this pack of 3 cars is now 3 wide. Andrew Gorman, Cody Hagan, the Penske teammates, and right behind him, Bubba Buchanan. Whoa! Oh my God, that was close. Oops. But all of a sudden, here comes Daniel Boyles here in the 1, taking second away. Now can Daniel Boyles get past Alan Souza? It looks like Alan Souza, he might actually pull away just a little bit. But anyway, as we now go onto the backstretch, not Matt Hotchkiss, the 4 of Dean Orrin has all of a sudden gotten himself here into the mix. And Dean Orrin, he's had a pretty stellar season in the American Ethanol Series, but hasn't really brought that success over here. And now all of a sudden, are we having a lead change? I think we are. Ah, so close. For a second, I thought maybe Daniel Boyles got underneath Alan Souza, but Alan Souza had the help of the draft, maybe. But Daniel Boyles, he is there, and he's ready to pounce. Can Daniel Boyles become the first 2-time winner in this series? We've already had a 2-time winner in the Domino's Pizza Truck Series, and I think we've come close to at least 1 or 2 times in the other series. But so far, I don't think we really had a driver really shown that he could grab his second win of the season, and Daniel Boyles looks to be the first. But Daniel Boyles here, he's just tucked right behind Alan Souza. I think Daniel Boyles is maybe waiting to make the move. Alan Souza, he is running just a little bit higher than Daniel Boyles. And now all of a sudden they are now approaching a lap car here. Matt Hotchkiss in the 25, and now all of a sudden Bubba Buchanan now takes second away. How will this lap car separate the field? If you remember, at Atlanta, a lap car caused a huge melee with just a couple laps to go, and that melee would cause the race to end under caution. Matt Hotchkiss, will he go to the inside? No, he's not. Oh no. Here we go. Matt Hotchkiss. Here comes Dean Orrin in the 4, looking to pounce. Okay, Alan says he goes to the inside, so he will most likely maintain his lead. But now all of a sudden here, some drivers are really now going to struggle. Buchanan, Bubba Buchanan, and Daniel Boyles, they are all stuck behind Matt Hotchkiss. They are now going 4 wider here. Oh my goodness. But they make it. But for drivers like Clint Buchanan, that really hurt them. They're going to have to way back up there. Well, my guess, Isaac Nichols, Dean Orton. If this race were to end right now, Isaac Nichols would have a huge lead in the points most likely. But that just all depends. It's now all of a sudden a pack of just 11 cars are here. It seems like oops. Oh my gosh, I actually did not know that. But anyway, Abe Troxel now takes second player here. But yeah, it looks like that it is an 11 car packer here as Daniel Boyles has now fallen off the pace. Most likely because of what just happened. And now his drivers continue to slice and dice their way through Matt Hotchkiss. Yeah, Matt Hotchkiss here. While he hasn't really been that much of a factor, he is going to separate this field quite a bit. And now all of a sudden, here comes Abe Troxel in the 17. Are we going to have our first lead change? Abe Troxel, he has a run. Alan Souza, because we are already past the halfway point, Alan Souza will get the extra bonus point of leading the most laps. So Alan Souza or anyone else won't be able to take that away. But now Alan Souza, he becomes the first leader other than Alan Souza. Did I say Matt Hotchkiss? I think I... If I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. Abe Troxel is now the leader. Here comes Dean Orton in the 4. Maybe now with Alan Souza now not the leader, we now could have a cycle of lead changes maybe. I'm going to experiment with this. Interesting. So the last time by, the driver with the fastest lap was Austin Kennedy. And now all of a sudden, here comes Bubba Buchanan now back into the mix. Alan Souza is still stuck on the high side. Abe Troxel has appeared to have pulled away just a little bit. Oh, Dean Orton, Alan Souza, oh my goodness. Some of these drivers, they're having a career day. And I don't think that drivers like Alan Souza want to mess up the day. Oh my gosh, behind right here, Alan Souza in 31. Oh my gosh, what happened here? Alan Souza, oh my goodness, what happened? What happened? Alan Souza was inside the top 5 that last time by. And now, as we have a restart here, Abe Troxel will lead them back to the green flag. We'll lead all these caution laps, but... Ah, my goodness, such a shame for Alan Souza. And O'Neal Baldwin seems to have some pretty heavy damage. He was also inside the top 10, but oh my goodness. Just another tough break for Alan Souza. He has led the most laps, and he will get that extra bonus point, but now it doesn't mean that much anymore. Oh my goodness. I actually do feel bad for Alan Souza right here. But anyway, let's take a look here and see what happened. Bump drafting generally does not always work. In fact, in the SERL, it almost does not work almost at all. But at a track like Texas Motor Speedway, where you have dogs here, you do not bump draft at all, and that's what Cody Hagan did to the 4 of Dean Orton, and then Alan Souza just got collected as well. And then Alan Souza comes back across the racetrack, collects Dean Orton again. Clint Buchanan gets some damage, so does O'Neal Baldwin, Isaac Nichols, Charles Belling. So a pretty big crash, and I didn't know that the crash ended up being this big. And some of those drivers were high up in points, like Isaac Nichols. And the thing is, every driver that got a piece of that crash, I think could have been a winning contender. But now, but now that ship has sailed, and now let's go on board a driver, or maybe even an alternative camera. From the grandstands looking into turn number 1. With all that smoke you can see, I'm surprised that more drivers did not get involved in that. But anyway, let's see if we can now find an onboard camera. So far, 7 of the top 10 points have gotten in some kind of trouble. Isaac Nichols, Clint Buchanan, Aiden Saunders, Biff Crafton, Ariana Parks, Johnny Mills, and Jacob Reed. And my goodness, I'll say it again. Drivers like Clint Buchanan and Isaac Nichols could have won this race or gotten a really good finish that would have separated themselves from the pack, but now that's not going to happen. So in the last melee, which brought the first caution, I think pretty much everyone will be pointing their fingers at Johnny Mills. Now I think everyone is going to be pointing their fingers at Cody Hagan. I did not know that this right side camera on the pace car existed, and this actually gives us a pretty interesting view of the crash. Now, everyone on this list is officially out of the race, and Alan Souza, who was the dominant driver of the day, will restart still on the lead lap in the 33rd position. And there are other drivers like Cliff Buchanan that also had a really solid day that will also restart in the back. And some drivers that got involved in that crash are actually still on the racetrack, like Isaac Nichols and Dean Orton. So this will be an interesting restart, especially for those two drivers, to see how the damage might affect them, if it'll affect them a lot or if it won't affect them at all. But anyway, now we have a new leader, and that is Abe Troxell, but there are several hungry drivers looking to also grab a win. Bubba Buchanan, Austin Kennedy, Andrew Gorman, the list goes on. But anyway, Abe Troxell gets a great restart here, and already it looks like that they are now sandwiching Dean Orton. Here comes Austin Kennedy in the number 3. Austin Kennedy in the number 3 so far this season has really not had that great of a season as well. He's not even inside the top 25 in points. And now, for a second, it looked like that he might actually grab the lead away, but then couldn't. And now all of a sudden, here comes Cody Hagan. I don't know if he'll really be that popular of a victory if Cody Hagan wins. And now we have another crash. Who's involved in it? Daniel Voiles. I'm gonna guess he had a good day going. And looks like so far he was the only driver that was involved. And now, and this is our first crash. And this crash appeared to happen coming off of turn number 2, which is the first time a crash has happened in that area. Let's take a look. I gotta say, this crash was pretty strange. It wasn't the crash I was expecting when I was predicting what this crash might have looked like in my head. But Daniel Voiles just got hooked from the 15 of Eric Almerhart. And once again, Luke Walker in the 42 has another incredible save. Daniel Voiles here, he hits the outside wall with the front of his car, so that's going to create a lot of damage. But behind them, I think everyone got slowed up just in time. Kevin Saunders, the 7 of Clubcraft didn't, so yeah, that's what I was saying by a stranger here. In the meantime, other drivers like Justin Talampas, Cameron Garlington, and Alan Souza all better here. Oh my goodness, I did not notice that contact between Cameron Garlington and Daniel Voiles. But for Daniel Voiles, another great driver at Texas, another driver who had a great day at Texas, is now going to come to an unfortunate end. Let's take you back to the green flag. No DNFs after that crash, meaning that Daniel Voiles is still in the racetrack. He will restart the last car on the lead lap in 33rd position. And here is the rest of the field. But anyway, despite having so many strong cars, it's honestly surprised me that the only two leaders of the day have been Alan Souza and Abe Troxell, which if Abe Troxell can lead the remainder of the laps left, Abe Troxell and Alan Souza would have led almost the exact same amount of laps. But we'll just see right here. I think Austin Kennedy could give him a run for his money. That is, if we stay green. I think if we have another immediate caution just after this restart, then I think it's over for anyone else. Abe Troxell will win. But anyway, Abe Troxell leads us back to the green flag. And Austin Kennedy here, he goes to the inside. I think Austin Kennedy, along with Bubba Buchanan and Cody Hagan, are thinking like, okay, a crash is going to happen soon. Let me get the lead. Austin Kennedy goes to the lead, but here comes Cody Hagan in 22. Now all of a sudden he looks down to the inside. Andrew Gorman in the 2, also up there as well, his teammate. Can the Penske teammates work together? And now all of a sudden, Abe Troxell has gone from the lead to now 5th position. As the next time by will be the white flag, but here comes Austin Kennedy here, making the crossover with the help of Andrew Gorman. Austin Kennedy looks to take the lead back. It looks like that we are definitely going to have a first-time winner with Manny of the uh, leaders so far this season not running well, or is out of the race. So Austin Kennedy, as we come here down to the white flag, unless the caution came out. The caution did not come out. So here we go. Can Austin Kennedy hold on? Here comes Andrew Gorman in the number 2 with help from Bubba Buchanan. Here comes Bubba Buchanan in the 14 down to Andrew Gorman. That might had just screwed over anyone's chances of winning this race as we come out of turn number 4. Coming down to checker flag, Austin Kennedy and the number 3 Dow Chevrolet will win at Texas. As I did, as I did a very terrible job at doing the flyby, but still, the same results. Austin Kennedy wins here. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Austin Kennedy wins at Texas, and here is the finishing results. Austin Kennedy, Bubba Buchanan, Andrew Gorman, Cody Hagan, Blaine Keys, Abe Troxell, Riley Smith, Andrew Brandt, Jim Kelly, Luke Walker. With so many accidents taking out a lot of good drivers, it opened the doors for drivers like Jim Kelly and Andrew Brandt and Riley Smith to really get some really great finishes. I it, 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 it was surprising to see like Abe Troxell lose the lead because I think like, well, what if that last caution did not happen? Would Austin Kennedy had catched him, or would had Abe Troxell been able to maintain the lead? We will never know. And as we show you the rest of the running order, so um, only nine DNFs and 2 drivers finished 1 lap down. Garrett Zinner and Matt Hotchkiss. But it looks like that if we're going to have a points leader, it might end up being. I think the points leader could be Bubba Buchanan in the 14. Yeah, yeah. I think that's I think that's who's going to be the points leader once I tally up the points after I show you Austin Kennedy's winning screen. But anyway, next week, all 3 series head to Ricky Raceway. Ricky Raceway hosted only one SERL race last season, and that was the American Ethanol Series race, Season 1, Race 4. And that race had its wild moments. Ricky Raceway, for those who don't know or don't remember, is a super speedway. I think it's a 2.5-mile super speedway. Uh, but compared to existing super speedways or fictional super speedways in this game NR 2003, I think Ricky Raceway is a very original and interesting type of racetrack for those who have not seen or remember it. So yeah, if all 3 series going there, it's going to be 3 days of super speedway type racing, and there will definitely be a lot of unpredictability. Anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and buy. Congrats to Austin Kennedy.